Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Vijana Vallabha Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jai Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jai Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री डिवाइन ग्रेस एस भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री इस डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नमाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। Hare Krishna. We are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, Amarish Maharaja, offended by Durasamuni. Today, text number 30. Vratante kartike masi. Vratante kartike masi. Triratram samupostitaha. Triratram samupositaha. Snataha kadachit kalindhyam. Harim madhuvane archayat. Vratante kartike masi. Triratram samupositaha. Snatak kadachit kalindhyam. Harim madhuvane archayat. Vratante kartike masi. Triratram samupositaha. Snatak kadachit kalindhyam. Harim madhuvane archayat. Vratante kartike masi. Pratak kadachit kalindhyam. Harim madhuvane archayat. Vratante kartike masi. Hare Madhuvane Archaya. Vratante kartike masi. Natram samapositaha. Snatak kadachit kalindhya. Hare Madhuvane Archaya. Vratante kartike masi. Triratram samupositaha. Snatak kadachit kalindhyam. Harim madhuvane archayat. Vaishnavis. Hutante Kartike Masi Triratram Samupositaha Snathak Kadachit Kalindhyam Harim Madhuvane Archayat Vrathante Kartike Masi Triratram Samupositaha Madhuvane Archayat Vrathante, at the end of observing the vow. Kartike, in the month of Kartika, October, November. Masi, in that month. Triratram, for 3 nights. Samupositaha, after completely observing the fast. Snataha, after bathing. Kadachit, once upon a time. Kalindhyam, on the bank of the Yamuna. Harim, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Madhuvane, in that part of the Vrindavana area known as Madhuvana. Archayat, worship the Lord. Translation, there is no purport. We will continue reading until we get purport. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. In the month of Kartika, after observing that vow for 1 year, after observing a fast for 3 nights, and after bathing in the Yamuna, Maharaja Amarisha worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hare, in Madhuvana. So I will read next translation as well. Translation. Following the regulative principles of Mahabhisheka, Maharaja Amarisha performed the bathing ceremony for the deity of the Lord Krishna with all paraphernalia. And then he dressed the deity with fine clothing, ornaments, fragrant flower garlands, and other paraphernalia for worship of the Lord. With attention and devotion, he worshipped Krishna and all the greatly fortunate Brahmanas who were free from material desires. This one also doesn't have purport. We'll go to the next verse, 33-35. Thereafter, Maharaja Amarisha satisfied all the guests who received at his house, especially the Brahmanas. He gave in charity 60 crores of cows, whose horns were covered with gold plate and whose hooves were covered with silver plate. All the cows were well decorated with garments and had full milk bags. They were mild-natured, young and beautiful, and were accompanied by their calves. After giving these cows, the king first sumptuously fed all the Brahmanas, and when they were fully satisfied, he was about to observe the end of Ekadashi with their permission by breaking the fast. Exactly at that time, however, Durasamuni, the great and powerful mystic, appeared on the scene as an uninvited guest. This also doesn't have purport. We'll go to next verse, 36. After standing up to receive Durasamuni, King Amarisha offered him a seat and paraphernalia of worship. Then sitting at his feet, the king requested the great sage to eat. Next, 37. Durasamuni gladly accepted the request of Maharaja Amarisha, but to perform the regulative ritualistic ceremonies, he went to the river Yamuna. There he dipped into the water of the auspicious Yamuna and meditated upon the impersonal Brahman. Next, 38. In the meantime, only a muhurta of the Dwadashi day was left on which to break the fast. Consequently, it was imperative that the fast be broken immediately. In this dangerous situation, the king consulted learned Brahmanas. This also doesn't have purport. Next one, 39 to 40. The king said, now Maharaja Amarisha inquiring from the king, Brahmanas. King is inquiring from Brahmanas what to do in this situation. He is asking, the king said, to transgress the laws of respectful behavior toward the Brahmanas is certainly a great offense. On the other hand, if one does not observe the breaking of the fast within the time of Dwadashi, there is a flaw in one's observance of the vow. Therefore, O Brahmanas, if you think that it will be auspicious and not irreligious, I shall break the fast by drinking water. In this way, after consulting with the Brahmanas, the king reached this decision. For according to Brahmanical opinion, drinking water may be accepted as eating and also as not eating. As a purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, when Maharaja Amarisha in his dilemma consulted the Brahmanas about whether he should break the fast or wait for Durasamuni, apparently they could not give a definite answer about what to do. A Vaishnava, however, is the most intelligent personality. Therefore, Maharaja Amarisha himself decided in the presence of the Brahmanas that he would drink a little water. For this would confirm that the fast was broken but would not transgress the laws for receiving a Brahmana. In the Vedas, it is said, Apo asnati tan naivasitam naivanasitam. This Vedic injunction declares that the drinking of water may be accepted as eating or as not eating. Sometimes, in our practical experience, we see that some political leader adhering to Satyagraha will not eat but will drink water. Considering that drinking water would not be eating, Maharaja Amarisha decided to act in this way. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katha Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Maharaja Amarisha, he performing Ekadashi vow for how many? days, but he performing for 1 year, very long. It's not that he is performing once in some years. No, he has been performing every month, fortnightly, but this particular time he decided to perform this Kartik vow in Vrindavan. So that's why it's very significant. And where is he now? Madhuvan. Yeah, he's at Madhuvan. And this is the last month of his particular vow to perform Kartik Vrat in Vrindavan. Which month is that? October, November, that's true. But what's the significance of that month? Kartik month. So even more auspicious to perform Kartik Vrat in that particular month. So, and he is about to complete his vrata. At the end, he fasts for 3 days. Yesterday, Gopavandesh Prabhu very nicely explained how to perform Ekadashi vrata, and traditionally how it used to be performed and now how we perform. And he gave very nice examples of performing Kartik Vrat and Prabhupada instructions on Ekadashi Vrata. And now Amarish Maharaj, he is about to break his fast, and Durasamuni entered. And he is uninvited guest, Atidhi. Atidhi means nobody called them, they just come. Durasamuni just entered. And Maharaja Amarisha, out of etiquette, he properly received Durasamuni and he worshipped him with all the paraphernalia. And then he requested him, please accept some prasad. He said, no, I'll go to the, now afternoon time, I'll have to bathe in the river, perform my noon ceremonies, ritualistic ceremony, then I will come. And he went, but not much time left. Just a muhurta time was left. Very short. Exactly, I don't know how much muhurta is. Muhurta means how much period? 48? 48 minutes or 48 seconds? Minutes, okay. So very short time. It's actually a long time. He waited entire muhurta. Towards the end, he was about to break the fast. But still, Durasamuni was not coming back. So at that time, first he asked Brahmanas, whoever assembled there, he asked them, what should I do now? Should I wait for Amarish Maharaj because he's a Brahmana and it's a social and religious etiquette that first Brahmanas and Atithis to be fed, then I should eat? Or should I break my fast just by drinking some water? Because, and this is also not good because I performed entire 1 year Kartik vow, and now at the end, if I don't break fast in this particular muhurta, and it's inauspicious. And he is not considering auspicious and inauspicious for himself. He is considering for the welfare of entire kingdom. So with that intention, he asked Brahmanas. But Brahmanas also in dilemma, what to do. And then he took his own decision. Okay, I will drink water. And what is the, did he take decision out of nowhere? Out of his mind's concoction? No, properly following the scriptural injunction. So if you see Maharaja Amarisha, he first approached the sadhu and then he approached Shastra. So Narottam Das Thakur says, Guru, Shastra, Sadhu. Sadhu Guru Shastra Chitate Aikya. So one must follow Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. At this circumstance, we can assume his Guru Maharaj may not be there. So first he consulted sadhus, since they were not able to answer him, and because he is a Rajarshi. Rajarshi. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Imam vivasate yogam proktavan aham avyayam manave ikshapkave abravit. After that Krishna says, this evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. All this knowledge, Vedic knowledge, was coming in the parampara system. Imam rajarshayo vidu. So he is a Rajarshi. And what makes one Rajarshi? Raja Rishi. Rajarshi means he is a saintly king. What makes a person saintly? Yeah, every action is based on the scriptures, not whimsical actions. So that's why he has that knowledge of scriptures. So based on that, he drank water. But here appears, it appeared that he took his own decision. But he didn't take own decision. He asked Brahmanas. Only then, because they were not able to give correct answer, because they were in dilemma. In the beginning of purport, Prabhupada wrote, when Maharaja Amarisha in his dilemma consulted the Brahmanas about what he should, about whether he should break the fast or wait for Durasamuni. Apparently, they could not give a definite answer about what to do. So only then Maharaja Amarisha break the fast. Now generally we all approach in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, if you see so many instances, there are so many kings and devotees, they were always seeking guidance in every circumstance, if you take from the beginning of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, for example, in the 7th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, who was taking guidance? Prahlad Maharaj. Yeah, he got instructions in the womb of his mother. After that, rest of the canto was dedicated for Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj inquiring from Narada Muni about what to do, about Varnashrama Dharma, about his own Dharma, what he should perform. Yudhishthir Maharaj was inquiring. So following the sadhu is always there. And where else we see in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam? Yeah, exactly. After the war, Yudhishthir Maharaj was very much disturbed. And he says, just because to fulfill my desire, and this very ferocious war took place, because of me so many people died. My own relatives also died. Just for this kingdom, I had to do this. Then he was feeling very bad. Krishna comes, Krishna told so many things, but still he couldn't listen. Then Krishna took him to Bhishmadev. There he was inquiring from Bhishmadev. And where else? Who else in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam? Exactly. Yeah, Vyasadeva was asking Narada Muni. He was very much dissatisfied, even though he completed the entire Vedic literature, Vedanta. Still he was not satisfied. At that moment, Narada Muni enters. And then he inquires, please tell me what is the cause of my dissatisfaction. And Narada Muni instructs him to write about pure devotional service, that is Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Where else? Who else? King Rahugana. Yes, King Rahugana was inquiring from Bharat Maharaj, Jada Bharat in that instance. Yeah, he was inquiring about his duty. And who else? Yeah, Vidura inquiring from Maitreya. You see in the third canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, there's elaborate descriptions about their conversation. So beautiful conversation. Inquiring about the cosmic manifestation, inquiring about the dharma of the jiva. So elaborately their conversations are. If you see in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, it's all conversation. Devotees asking another devotee about purpose. Right from the beginning of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. First chapter, what is it called? Questions by the sages of Naimisharanya. They were asking. They were asking 6 questions. Correct? And you see towards the end also same thing. Towards the end in the 11th canto, beginning itself, who was asking question? Maharaj Nimi was asking questions to Navayogendras. Navayogendras. And then Vasudeva was inquiring Narada Muni. Vasudeva was inquiring Narada Muni. And at the end, who was asking questions? Uddhava. Uddhava inquiring from the Lord directly. So that's why, if you see, throughout the Bhagavatam, throughout the life of devotees, they were always seeking guidance from someone superior, especially to sadhus. Although they are very competent personalities, although they have all the knowledge, but still they take guidance from who is senior, superior. Because when we inquire, when we take guidance, because guidance, if you have somebody who can guide us in our life, especially in spiritual life, we are very fortunate. We are very fortunate if somebody is there for us to guide in every step. And taking guidance is not dependence on somebody. It's not lower position. Seeking guidance is not a lower position. By depending on someone's guidance, we are actually becoming independent. From what? Yeah, from our false ego, for sure. Yeah, from our mind. And then, most importantly, we are freed from influence of our gunas, modes, goodness, passion and ignorance. So we are freed from that. By seeking guidance constantly, we want to go in that right path. So that's why when we seek guidance, the devotee, he sees from the above position. Because when we are acting, we are actor in that particular situation. So we don't know whether we are doing right or wrong. Like in the movies, when the actor is acting, he puts a director. So director tells, according to the storyline, oh, you have to lift your hand like this, you have to pronounce dialogue like this, you have to dance like this. So when to show which emotion. So director directs according to the storyline. Although he may be very, very reputed and well-experienced actor, still he keeps a director because he is very much involved in acting. Director will correct him. Okay, you should not do this, you should do this. So similarly, we are also acting. Acting on what basis? Exactly. We are puppets of 3 modes. So when we are acting, we don't know whether we are acting based on the influence of the 3 modes. Are we really taking correct decision? So when a devotee from outside as a director, he sees, what further step is good for us in life. Because otherwise what happens when we involved in particular thing, our mind says, oh, this service is good for you. Or reading this book is very good for you. These days on the internet you can get any book. Correct? And some may be not very much relevant for us. relevant in the sense our consciousness may not be at that level. So devotee will guide, okay, this service is not good for you at this stage. Or leaving this service is not good for you. Or reading such and such book is not good for you because you are not ready to read particular book. Say for example, I remember one devotee, he was just coming for 3 months or so, and he started reading Gopal Champu. That was first time I heard Gopal Champu. I don't even know what is that book. Then I asked, who referred you to read this book? He said, Prabhuji, I was following one devotee on internet and he always quotes this book. I thought this is the book we should read. Then he started reading. I told, have you read Bhagavad Gita? No, Prabhuji, I haven't read. And some devotees, when they hear repeated lectures on soul, that we are not this body, we are spirit, soul, they cannot understand. They complain, Prabhuji, you have been coming to this class and every time you repeating the same lecture. We are not this body or soul, and you try to prove. And when you will speak about Krishna, when you will speak about higher pastimes, something more. Because one is not ready to hear. So only. But who gives that guidance? We need to approach somebody. That's why Krishna consciousness is a guidance culture. Krishna consciousness is guidance culture. So we have, Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instructions, verse number 4, the 6 loving exchanges. What are those? Dhadati pratigruhnati guhyam akyati pruchyati bhungthe bodhyate chaiva shadvida priti lakshanam. So offering dadati, gifts, and receiving gifts, inquiring in submission and revealing one's mind, and offering prasada and accepting prasada. These are the 6 loving exchanges in devotee community. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, especially highlighting these 2 points, inquiring in submission and revealing one's mind in confidence. Prabhupada writes, this International Society for Krishna Consciousness is especially created for this purpose. To inquire. Prabhupada writes very elaborately in the purport that devotees who come to our temples, they can inquire from the devotees who are practicing about how to advance in Krishna consciousness and seek guidance. So, Krishna consciousness movement is meant for that, to inquire. And we have ample number of devotees who can guide us. But we need to open. And it also required that to identify a right person to whom we can trust and reveal our heart. And on the other hand, who are not devotees, they take guidance from so many places. Take for example, in the beginning of 10th canto, Kamsa was inquiring from whom? Prabhupada writes in Krishna book, giving titles to each demon. He says, demon Bakasura, demon Agasura, demon Vrutrasura. Prabhupada writes, in every demon before Vrutrasura, Bakasura, Agasura, he puts demon. It sounds so good that he is giving a title, like Lieutenant Colonel, like that Prabhupada is writing. So he was inquiring from them. You remember, after Kamsa kills 6 children. Before that actually, Narad Muni comes, Narad Muni tells, he must be one of them also, Vishnu. After Krishna born, Yogamaya went in the sky, she spoke. Then he realized that my worshipable deity, I am about to kill, I have become a great offender, and he fell the feet of Vasudeva and he begged forgiveness. And next day, he calls all his great friends, all the demons. They tell what to do. You become a sadhu, you forgive them. That's not very good. You should kill all the babies born in last 3 months. So his counselors are demons. So that's why he acted in that way. Of course, natural proclivity is also there. But that was the counsel he got from his demoniac friends. And what about in the outside world? They don't have any other counselor other than their own mind and senses, which are influenced under 3 modes of material nature. So that's why they cannot take proper guidance. And when they take guidance from a devotee, because of his devotion, he is purified from the influence of 3 modes, and also he sets a proper example by his own behavior, achar and prachar, both. And he performs what he speaks. So both are there. Somebody may, motivational speakers and outside people, religionists, they may speak big things. But when it comes to their personal achar, their personal behavior, they may not be following what they say. And some people, they follow very nicely, but they don't do any prachar. But a perfect Vaishnava, he does both of them. That's why Prabhupada so many times says in his lectures, Mahajanayena gatastapanta. So one should follow Mahajanas. And Prabhupada quotes all the 12 Mahajanas. After quoting all the 12 Mahajanas, he says, furthermore, and we have Mahajanas, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, like that Prabhupada says, latest Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that Prabhupada always tells. And does it end only at that place? No. Prabhupada made all his followers Mahajanas. One can take guidance from all of them. Why? Because they follow exactly according to these 3 criteria: Sadhu, Shastra and Guru. And they follow exactly. So that's why. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhyalila 17th chapter, when Mahaprabhu was in Vrindavan, so in Vrindavan once he was invited by a Brahmana to his house, but he was not the highest category Brahmana. No, actually Mahaprabhu asked him to cook for himself, that particular Brahmana. But the Brahmana told, I am not the highest category Brahmana, I belong to this so-and-so caste. If you come to my house, people will criticize you, because you are a sannyasi. But Mahaprabhu says, no, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Madhavendra Puri, he came to your house to accept prasad. And he set a standard from where we can accept prasad. So you are a devotee, very advanced devotee. Taking prasad from your house is purifying to me. And then Mahaprabhu quotes a verse. So I will read that particular section. It's very interesting purport given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, quoted by Srila Prabhupada in that particular purport. Is verse number 185. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhyalila, chapter 17, verse number 185. There Mahaprabhu says, Dharma stapana hetu sadhura vyavhar, puri goshanira ye acharana, sayi dharmasar. Purport. Translation. A devotee's behavior establishes the true purpose of religious principles. The behavior of Madhavendra Puri Goswami is the essence of such religious principles. Because he is following example of Madhavendra Puri to accept prasad at this particular Brahmana's house. So there Mahaprabhu is telling a devotee's behavior establishes the true purpose of religious principles. The religious principle for a sannyasi was to accept prasad at some higher caste Brahmanas. But he is going to accept at the lower caste. Mahaprabhu is backing up, I am following in the footstep of Mahajana Madhavendra Puri. In the purport, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he establishes how different people depends on their own level of advancement and consciousness, accepts Mahajanas in their own category of people, circle. I will read that. And first he established who is a Mahatma. Sadhu means Mahatma. And Mahatmas or Sadhus are called Mahajanas. And what is the criteria given in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam? Mahatma nastu mam pharda daivim prakritim ashrita. So the devotee, Mahatma, Sadhu, always attached to devotional service, and he is always inclined to perform devotional service. So that is the first criteria. He must be a devotee. And then he explains in the purport, he says, in the material world, the word Mahatma is understood in different ways by different religionists. Mundaners also come up with their different angles of vision. For the conditioned soul busy in sense gratification, a Mahajana is recognized according to the proportion of sense gratification he offers. For instance, a businessman considers a certain banker to be a Mahajana. And karmis desiring material enjoyment may consider philosophers like Jaimini to be Mahajanas. There are many yogis who want to control the senses. For them, Patanjali Rishi is a Mahajana. For the Jnanis, the atheist Kapila, Vasishtha, Durvasa, Dattatreya and other impersonalist philosophers are Mahajanas. For demons, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Ravana's son, Meghanatha, Jarasandha and others are accepted as Mahajanas. See, he is giving a different category. How people, according to their consciousness, they accept in their circle someone as Mahajana. For many of us, we accept somebody who invests nicely and getting return, he is Mahajana. And who can offer a good value of land, he is a Mahajana. One who is like in the sports, who is Mahajana in sports? Messi? Messi is Mahajana. For men, those who play volleyball, football. In volleyball, who is Mahajana? I don't know. Cricket? Once upon a time, Tendulkar was a Mahajana. Now, latest Mahajana comes. Like that, everyone accepts Mahajana in their own category. And the scientists who are bewildered by is another interesting point. For materialistic anthropologists speculating on the evolution of body, a person like Darwin is a Mahajana. The scientists who are bewildered by Krishna's external energy have no relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yet they are accepted by some as Mahajanas. Scientists also, for somebody, those who are in the college, university, all the scientists then who wrote so many papers and conducted so much research, they become Mahajana. I want to become like this person. But we have great scientists sitting here. Prabhu is actual Mahajana, devotee. Wherever he is, he gives prasad to his colleagues. And then Prabhupada writes further. Similarly, philosophers, historians, literary men, public speakers, and social and political leaders are sometimes accepted as Mahajanas. So that's why you see, in these days, people follow those who have so many followers in their Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube channel. They become Mahajanas. Oh, so-and-so video he made, it became hit. And in India, I remember, in my childhood, even now, many people follow some great cinema star as Mahajana. And they put their cutout in their house, and they follow what they do. Whatever hairstyle they follow, Mahajana Enagatasapanta, they also follow that hairstyle. They follow that particular dress style. They follow that particular manner. Public speakers, politicians, social leaders, they all become, but they are all blind. Such Mahajanas are respected by certain men who have been described in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 2nd canto, 3rd chapter, verse number 19. Savidvarahoshtakhare samsuta purusha pashu nayat karna patopeta jatu nama gadahagraja. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels and asses. Praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Because people with same mentality and same consciousness follow certain leader in that community, in that circle as Mahajana. But they are all like, as Shastra says, Savid Varaha Ushrakhare, like dogs, hogs and camels. But one has to follow a perfect person who is a 100% devotee of Krishna. So that's very important. And then further in the purport, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur makes very, very interesting point. He says, because people generally think, following devotee is very conservative. They cannot understand my problems in this world. They cannot understand what I am going through. And they think, sometimes they consider such Mahajanas very conservative, or they create their own Mahajanas. In this way, they ignore the principles of the Parampara system. This is a great misfortune for everyone. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saying, if one is not following a sadhu, devotee, Mahajana, and making their own circle of Mahajanas, it's a great misfortune for them. Why? If one does not follow in the footsteps of a real Mahajana, one's plans for happiness will be frustrated. If one is not following a devotee Mahajana sadhu, one's plans are frustrated for happiness. Because all the plans which we make in this world is to be happy. Isn't it? Is there any other purpose for normal conditional soul? No, to be happy. But they are all frustrated if one is not following in the footsteps of a sadhu Mahajana. In Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, King Rishabhdeva's teachings, 555 verse, Canto 5, Chapter 5, verse number 5. Prabhupada, so many places he quotes this verse. You know that verse? No? I'll read that. He says, King Rishabhdev says, Parabhavastavat abhoja jata. Parabhava means defeat. Parabhavastavat abhoja jato yavanna jignasa atmatattvam yavat kriyastavad imam manovai karmatmakam yena sharira bandha. In the translation, translation is, as long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. All the miseries arise from one's ignorance. And if one is not inquiring what is the root cause and not removing that ignorance, so he is considered a defeat, failure. Why? If a person, be it sinful or pious, karma has its resultant action. Karma has its resultant action, whether sinful or pious. Both of them bring resultant action. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karma atmaka, colored with fruitive activity. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear. And as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. So as long as one's mind is not clear, one's mind is impure. So what are the impurities? We just talk about the three modes. The three modes are the impurities. So as long as mind is not cleared of these impurities of three modes of material nature, one acts based on the three modes because of their influence. And as long as one is acting on the modes of material nature, so his consciousness is always polluted. As long as the consciousness is polluted, he will be forced to do certain activity which may be pious or impious. One has to accept body. And as long as material body is there, one is subjected to repetition of birth and death and miseries of material nature. But when one inquires from a sadhu, guru, shastra, they elevate us to devotional platform. Only in that devotional platform one can make complete solution to all the miseries of material world. If one is not able to do that, one is not able to solve these miseries, according to this verse, one is considered a failure. Parabhava. Parabhava means failure. One may be at the highest position in the material world, or the lowest. If one is not solving this, is considered parabhava, defeat. We don't like defeat, even in a small video game. Isn't it? We don't like, people doesn't like defeat. Even in a small illusory video game, we don't want defeat. And what to speak of in life? What to speak of in life? Do we want that defeat? No. So that's why one has to follow Shastra, Sadhu and Guru. So it's very, very important. And we are very fortunate. We are really fortunate. So we have Srila Prabhupada. We have Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada's association in his books. In his books. Yesterday, someone circulated one short clip, 1 minute video. In that, Prabhupada was urging his disciples to read his books. At the end, Prabhupada says, "No, what can I do if you don't take guidance from my books? If you don't read my books, what can I do?" So it's like, you can hear, if you want, I can hear, repeat that audio clip. We'll listen. It's so beautiful. Then I will end the class.
People don't read, then you feel restless. Let me go from Japan to India, from India to Japan. You are restless because you don't read. I am laboring so hard for you, but you don't take advantage. Don't take advantage of eating and sleeping. Take advantage of these books. Then your life will be settled. My duty I am giving so valuable things, day and night, trying to convince you to word. And if you don't take advantage of this, then what can I do for you?
See how Prabhupada, if you don't take advantage of these books, what can I do for you? So, It's our great fortune, and it's a great fortune to the world that these books are available. So first we read for ourselves and we help others to read. Then they take right guidance and their life becomes a success, not a failure. Okay? I'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions and corrections, please do so. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. Very amazing how you talked about seeking guidance. So I wanted to ask, we see in this pastime that Krishna protects Amarisha Maharaj even though he didn't ask for it. But on the other side in Mahabharata, we see the 5 sons of the Pandavas, they were ruthlessly killed by Ashwatthama, even though Krishna was present with them. So how do we understand the protection on both sides?
Krishna is independent, Swarat. He can act as he wish. Correct. And protection is not what we think is protection. So for example, recently I got hit by flower, but the flower in the vase. So when I go to doctor, I cannot ask doctor in a way what I feel good. Doctor knows what good for me to recover from that injury. Correct? So if doctor is stitching stitches, I cannot say, doctor, why are you stitching? I feel pain. Give me medicine, I will get cured. Just give me a small tablet, maybe homeopathy. No, that doesn't work. Because depends on the severity of the wound, doctor has to take particular step. So similarly, Krishna knows our past, present and future. Based on that, what is good, what is ultimate good for us, at that particular instance, Krishna takes action. So he doesn't just see the present, he also sees future and he also knows our past. And whatever Krishna does is good. So in the Madhurashtakam, Madhurashtakam, Adaram Madhuram. So in that last 8th verse, it says that his trampling also sweet, his protection also sweet. Chalitam, Dalitam Madhuram. So his trampling also sweet. If he is punishing somebody, that is also sweet because it's good for them. And if he is protecting, that is also good for him. In the both ways, he does good. And in that particular pastime where the 5 Upapandavas were killed, I forgot. Those 5 Pandavas in their past life, who were there? I read somewhere, I forgot. But is Krishna's wish? He want to. So many people ask, if Krishna present when Pandavas were going through all these troubles, but why he didn't directly save them? And Prabhupada writes in the purports of Queen Kunti prayers, like how mother teaches by teaching her own daughter to teach daughter-in-law. So similarly, Krishna using his devotees, although they underwent so many troubles, even their own children got butchered by Ashwadhama, still they never left Krishna's protection, Krishna's shelter. and Krishna was always with them. That's why Queen Kunti can openly say in her prayers that Vipada Santuta Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. Let these all the calamities come so that I can see you. And it's not that when a surgeon is performing the surgery, he will not give you anesthesia. First they will give you anesthesia, then do the surgery. Similarly, Krishna gives anesthesia so that although devotee is undergoing particular problem, he will not feel the pain. He will not feel that pain. So Krishna prepares that, then he gives. And we should not worry, oh, Krishna will give me so much pain. Krishna will give to the degree we can bear that pain. He will not give, like when you, what are you studying? Which
Year
year?
8.
Year 8. So your teachers will not give you PhD paper in your exam. That's for sure, correct? Because you are trained only to year 8. Same thing in our life. We don't get PhD paper. Like Pandavas or Draupadi, we don't get those PhD papers. We get to our standard. Means we get our problems to our standard, where we can bear. If we can able to bear and perform our bhakti, 16 rounds is enough. We have enough problems. Climate problem is there, government problem is there, own family problem, body problems are there. We don't get more than that. And if at all they are coming, ordained by Krishna, in the purport to first canto, 5th chapter, verse number 19, Prabhupada writes in the purport, a devotee is suffering and non-devotee suffering, both are different. Both are different. And Prabhupada gives an analogy of an orphan's punishment and the king's son's punishment are different. King's son's punishment is under the supervision of the king. But whereas the suffering of an orphan, nobody there. And we are not orphan. Krishna directly, because for devotee, he himself. So, because it's happened under the supervision, Krishna is omnipotent and omniscient. He knows past, present and future. But still, if it is good for that particular devotee's rectification and purification, under his supervision, he will give. And he is like a king giving punishment to his son. When it is too much, he will come and he will pull out. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mati.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the class. I was reflecting on the point of by following authorities or guidance, we get free from the influence of the gunas. I was trying to understand what that actually means, and also can we understand that by receiving guidance, we can have the advantage of knowing how to use better the gunas, but what actually means to be free from the gunas.
Now it reminds me one famous pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Once one devotee, because all the devotees were going to different countries to establish centers. So one particular devotee, he told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I want to go to this area and I want to start preaching center. And Prabhupada said, no, you stay here and chant your 16 rounds and you perform this service locally. Because sometimes we may accept particular service or particular vow which pleases us. So what pleases us? Generally mode of passion and ignorance. So when we approach our authority, devotee, and they guide us, whether it is based on your maturity and devotion you want to perform this particular task or seva, or are you doing it please your mind and senses? So in that clarification, at least that clarification, following authority will give. Whether a particular service is to please my mind and senses, or is it to please Sadhu, Guru and Krishna. And the second one you ask, where if we are constantly following the authority, where we are exercising which guna and how to control our modes. So to that, yes, we are following the authority. Authority also will give us our own, to exercise our free will. To exercise our free will. In that, we able to see what is actually ultimately beneficial. Ultimately beneficial. Say for example, recently what happened, I wanted to go to for one preaching place. So I asked Goparundesh Prabhu, Prabhuji, I want to go to this place and I haven't been there. Should I go or not? My initial thinking was, this is my place, I should go and I should do the program. But in a conversation with Goparundesh Prabhu, I understood that we have to observe the situation and provide our service to the degree which is beneficial for other devotees. So they give us guidance, devotees, and we have free will. And using that guidance and our free will, we take final decision. And also, it very, very personal to person that when we following our Guru's instruction or senior devotee's instruction, in which attitude we perform. Attitude makes a big difference. So although out of force, Guru or Sadhu's instruction we are following, but if our attitude is not true in performing that activity, so then again, so we are influenced. But that help us to purify our senses and consciousness. Any opinion?
Yes, thank you for the answer. But I also was reflecting on by receiving guidance and acting upon the guidance with the proper mood, as you nicely pointed out. It's also more effective in the use of the modes of nature in whatever we want to do, because even in application of devotional service, due to the nature of the activity, it's require the combination of the different modes.
Yes.
And so learning how to use them to be more effective in the service. So it's done by following guidance, basically.
Yes. Thank you. Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You mentioned about the Raj Rishis, or how perfect devotee shows by Achar and Prachar, both has to be there. Many times, while giving Bhakti Vriksha classes, or, it's so easy to say one must control the anger, control greed, lust, and all those things. But how can we develop that in our own Achar?
when we become devotees, we are like a snake without its poisonous fangs. So we need to know when to show anger, because we show anger, but we don't be in anger, not influenced by the anger. And also, we need to understand that, at least to myself I'm saying, we are all patients in the same hospital, but I am a senior patient, started medication previously, and a junior patient, but the degree of disease may be different. Maybe one who is junior to us, whom we brought, maybe his disease is very minimal, maybe 1%, 2%. He will take the medicine of Mahamantra, he will become big. But I may be the senior patient, but my disease is 50%. So it may take longer time. But we are all taking medication. We are under the able guidance of Dr. Srila Prabhupada, and medicine is working, potent medicine, Mahamantra and scriptures. Doctor is there, Chief Doctor Mahaprabhu. So one day our disease will be cured. So we have to make sure that we are taking medicine. So that is the main thing. The remaining will go. That's the achar. That's the primary achar. So with that, everything else will come. Yasyaste bhaktir bhagavate akinchanasya sarvair gunair tatra samashate sura. So as long as we are practicing devotional service, it's just a matter of time, all the good qualities will come automatically. It's just a matter of time. Impurity has to be removed. But that has to happen. So process should not stop. Process should not stop. Chanting, hearing, service, all the Navayuda Bhakti should always go. So that is the achar. So we should follow that strictly, although we are going through our own karma and modes, but we should not stop our devotion. So that's the example we should set, and same thing we prachar. You also do the same thing. Hope it answers your question.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay. If there is no question, we'll stop here. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, Jayadguru Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Pramanande.